What's up guys, it's Avery here. Today I want to talk to you about buying your dream home. A lot of people are looking to buy homes this year. You're watching videos, should I rent, should I buy? You're watching other videos, how much home should I buy? You're watching videos, should I wait to buy while there's a market crash? Whatever it is, interest rates are super low. All these things are going through your head and you're wondering, should I buy a home this year? So maybe you're thinking all these things, but I'm gonna tell you how I plan to buy my primary home, my dream home, with no debt and using other people's money. Before we get into it, if this is your first time to the channel, please comment, like, subscribe. Smash that like button for me, help me out for that YouTube algorithm. So one of the biggest scams in the American dream is that buying a home is considered an asset. And if this is something that you go and pay for and you have a monthly debt to it, it is not an asset. If you're paying for something every month, it is not an asset. And all those people in these expensive cities that have had lots of appreciation can tell you otherwise. And yes, some people make good purchases, but most people when they go to buy a home, they're not thinking about it as actually an investment. They're really just watching HGTV or going on Zillow and finding the best possible, nicest looking place that they can afford that puts them within whatever their lender says they're allowed to pay for. And more often than not, these people are making bad purchases. Anyway, all of that aside, you can argue with me. Put it in the comments anyway, because I'll respond and it'll help me for the algorithm that buying a home is considered an asset, whereas I think it's considered a liability. So let me know what you think about that. If you guys have been watching the channel, you'll know that I'm really into personal finance, real estate investing, and I like to do a lot of my own renovations myself so I can build a lot of equity into my homes and gain more wealth that way. So I bought 2 homes at this point in my life and they were pure investments and I've lived in both. And if you're interested in learning more about that, check the video in the description below. But basically what I'm doing is building equity, building wealth while buying these homes and living for free so that I can use all that excess money and invest it into other real estate, stocks, whatever it may be to earn me more wealth and more income. But all that aside, I will say that neither of these homes were anything near what I would consider my dream home. So I'm probably 5 to 10 years away from buying my primary or my dream home, and my plan is to buy it with absolutely no debt and using other people's money. And yes, no debt, no mortgage, no conventional financing, not using a bank. And here's how I plan to do it. So as I mentioned, I've bought a couple properties so far, and I plan to continue doing that as time goes on, especially before I buy my primary home, gain more rentals, gain more equity within those rentals, and as well gain more wealth and gain a lot of time back, because this is semi-passive income. I won't say that it's totally passive. There's still a lot of calls that you got to take and things that you have to do to make sure that your properties and tenants and everyone is happy. So my plan is to keep gaining more properties, and the 2 that I have right now have about a valuation of $1.4 million if you put them together. So of the total amount of equity that I own within those properties is around $300,000 to $350,000 within 2 years, just by living them and fixing them up a little bit, as well as general appreciation within those properties. So after 5 to 10 more years, I will have a much higher valuation within the properties, as well as a lot more equity. Just as time goes on, the bank loan gets paid down and the value of the area will just go up and up quite a bit, because it is in a path of progress, and I've already seen a lot of that happen, and it's only been 1 to 2 years for both properties. So every single month I get about $2,000 wealthier, just if you look at the principal pay down of my mortgages. So when I make a mortgage payment that gets paid by the tenants at my duplex, about $800, and that money goes up a little bit every month based on how mortgages work, but about $800 or so goes towards principal pay down. And at my 3 family, about $1,200 goes towards my principal. So just that $1,200 plus $800 brings the pay down on my loan down about $2,000, or increases my net worth about $2,000 each month. So as time goes on, my tenants will continue to pay down my loans. There will be general market appreciation, may fix the places up more and whatnot. So there will be a bigger spread between the amount that I owe on my loan and the value of the home, which is called equity. So there are 2 major ways that you can tap into your equity. You can use what is called a HELOC, or home equity line of credit. And basically you can think of it as a credit card for your home. There are a lot more details, but I'm not going to go into it in this video. Or you can do a cash out refinance. So just like if you were doing a regular refinance, but you could go to the bank and they could give you some money back for the amount of equity that you have in your home. So when you get this home equity line of credit or cash out refinance, all of that equity that you've created for yourself and wealth that you've gained will be from your tenants paying down your loan amount and not from you putting any money towards that loan. So at a certain point, because I own 2 properties in this expensive market, the equity is going up quite a bit, I plan to do either a cash out refinance or a home equity line of credit and buy my primary home with that money. Now, maybe the title of the video is a little misleading, or me saying that I'll use other people's money is a little bit misleading, but it is from me getting other people to pay me with their money and going towards my buildings being paid down so that I have more equity in them. If I didn't make the title so enticing, you probably wouldn't have clicked on the video. So, I gotta say stuff like that so I can grow my YouTube channel. So once I have all this equity or all this money in my properties that I plan to use, I'm not just gonna use that money and go buy a home like many people do these days. I'm not just gonna go on Zillow and find the most attractive, the most sexy building that I can find so that I can live in my dream home and be super excited about it. So my plan to buy the home with no debt and other people's money is using that equity from my home. And then I plan to gain instant equity into my home by buying a vacant plot of land and building on it. So the cost of construction will always be less than the value of the property. That's why a lot of people are building homes and then selling them. They make money. That is the whole point. So if I can take that equity that I have in these other buildings, buy a vacant plot of land, and then build a home on the plot of land, I will get exactly what I want. That is actually the most important thing, I think, in this whole scenario, is when you create something from the ground up, new construction, you get exactly what you want in the home. You can pick all of the finishes, the layout, work with an architect, whatever it is, and everyone will be extremely happy about all of the decisions. And you don't have to go find what you think is going to be the best place or maybe change it around. You get what you want from day one. And the cost of construction will be a lot less than what you could sell that building for. So my plan is to not sell the building, but obviously to live in it. So immediately there, once the home is built, I'll have instant equity in the home. So just by using the equity from the rental properties that I own and plan to own more of, I can utilize that money and immediately gain equity in my primary home by using someone else's money that paid down my mortgage and general appreciation from buying in a good market. So I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think a home is an asset or a liability? Do you think my strategy makes sense? And if you're interested in learning how to buy a rental property, or how I've bought rental properties in the past, or how mine are performing, please check out my channel. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I appreciate you watching until the end and hope to see you guys next time.